Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Onyx Path Twitch, where today we have returned for another episode of They Came from the Cyclops' Cave. You will note that I am a two-headed statue. That's why we're late. My camera has joined the choir invisible. It is an X camera. I no longer have a working camera. I'm gonna try to fix that after this after this stream. But rather than do a prolonged camera sketch, we're just gonna go ahead and start a half hour early and run until we run out of road. Before I forget, a couple things that I want to make sure that I make you all aware of. Obviously and clearly, the big deal this month is that we have the Curseborn Kickstarter. We've fully funded in like 32 minutes or some such. We're over 400% funded now. We are currently unlocking, I think, our sixth stretch goal. Things are moving along nicely, nearly 2,000 backers, and we're just over a week in. So hop in, get involved. If you've not yet checked out Curseborn, please head over to Kickstarter and do so. There's also an AMA going on over at Reddit right now at the r/RPG. If you have some questions about Curseborn, you can pop that over in another window, and you can participate in the AMA while you're watching this stream. Isn't the technology grand? So I believe that's the important bits that I wanted to make sure that I covered before we get going. I am Travis. My pronouns are he and they, and I am currently a two-headed statue. I will be running the game, and our players today will be starting with Millie. Please tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would like to promote.
Sure, awesome. I'm Millie and/or Bunny Hearted. My pronouns are she and her or they and them. I'm a doofus retro anime bunny girl VTuber. Currently in my Halloween costume for some reason. Um, don't worry about it. It's Halloween. We're good. We can do whatever we want. I'm here playing Belladonna Blightwood, the daughter of the previous big bad, who's currently just like vibing and like doing cool stuff and like a chill bean. I don't know. She's having a good time. Also, on the theme of technical difficulties, my light just turned off and burned out. So I'm gonna go flip a light bulb over. So I will be here, but I will be temporarily invisible. So what?
Wonderful. Go ahead and spaghetti yourself and
Zoom.
and whilst Millie is addressing lighting issues, CJ, please give us your pertinence. Also, whatever you typed in the Zoom chat for some or in the Twitch chat for some reason got eaten. I don't know if it's because you're
Oh,
not a mod or what. I'll fix that though. But in the
probably. It
meantime,
was just the Reddit link.
oh, okay, I can do that.
Yep.
I'll do that while you tell everybody who you are, what you do, who you're playing, all that good stuff.
Hi, everybody. I'm CJ. You can find me pretty much everywhere at CJ Story. My pronouns are they, them, and I play Alice, a kind of dumb hero whose pronouns are she, her. I think the one thing that I can hype this week that I'm super excited about is obviously my day job. I am community customer service and marketing for Rowan Rook and Deckard. So we are launching Royal Blood on Kickstarter this upcoming Tuesday, the 15th of October. If you want to Google Royal Blood Kickstarter now, you can obviously sign up to be notified. It is a tarot-based TTRPG where basically you play royals. You are trying to heist the power back from the arcane, and we've got these beautiful, beautiful tarot cards made by the talented folks at Mana Project Studios. So there's going to be, this is based on a game that Grant did in 2016. There is a broader set of rules now available for you to heist power back from the major arcana. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're super excited. And that's all I've got for you today. So check out Royal Blood, Rowan Rook, and Deckard. And we'll be launching that next week.
Glorious. Yeah, so now that the bills are paid and we are ready to return, let us drift away to a land of far less troubles and difficulties, a fun place, a world in which our heroes have recently overcome a great evil that was going to swallow the land, returned Mother Blightwood, the evil sorceress who happens to be Belladonna's mom, but also was responsible for the releasing of the empty. I've returned her to her senses, and she is now working to make amends for those transgressions. In the course of events, Alis discovered a greater power within when she wielded the magic sword and called upon the power of friendship to unlock true heroic abilities. And the group has been sort of working to try to repair the land, bring peace, create a new normal of joy and siblinghood and prosperity. But there is a group of people to the north who feel left out of this. They are enraged at the humans, particularly the mages, for driving them off their land prior to the events of the empty being released, and then of course for the release of the empty and the casualties that caused among their people. And these are the giants. Now, the group has reached out. The heroes have reached out to try to make some sort of peace with the giants, and a giant envoy is scheduled to visit their castle in the Serpentine Mountains. But in the hopes of being able to successfully negotiate a peace, the heroes have decided to plead with the mages to release Alida, Alis's sister, from her oubliette, as she is one of the most skilled negotiators the mages have ever known. And when last we met, you all had just been in the basement of the Mage Tower and had just literally gotten Alida out. So where would we go from here? Where do you, now that Alida is out and with you, what do you all want to do?
I have to watch her now, don't I?
You are responsible.
Great. All right. So that's not Alis's voice at all. That's kind of mine. Let's try that again. So I think Alis is sort of trying to think of the next step, because obviously we have to wait for the giant envoy. So there's sort of a beat, and then they kind of look at Bella and look at Elida, and they're like, okay, so I think we probably need to get you up to speed, right, Alida? I don't know that you necessarily get all that much news where you were.
Not a lot of gossip in the oubliettes, no. Unfortunately, it's part of the whole, perpetual solitary confinement thing.
Yeah. Oof.
Kind of awful and unfortunate that.
We're working on it, but there's just a lot going on. That's okay. You're out. We won't forget about the others. But what about, do you guys want to get lunch?
I mean, I could eat. I've had gruel and bread and water for the last several months, so.
Yeah, lunch sounds like a good
Maybe
idea.
something a little more proper. Eggs?
Back to the castle then? Alis looks at Bella, like, questioning.
Sure. Unless you wanted to get something to go.
Yeah, do you have a favorite place here? Alida, I mean, do you have a favorite place here?
A favorite place to eat?
Yeah.
We could we can really stop at the first place. I'm not particular. I just would like something that's
not gruel.
Not gruel would be great.
Sure. Yeah, you know what? First place sounds good. I think they probably go to like the nearest cafe type, like I imagine fantasy cafes in my brain. They're like real cafes, but in a fantasy setting. I'm really getting into character.
Sure, Sure, you go grab yourself a fantasy Starbucks. You're
I
able
mean,
Oh
sure.
no.
you're able to get some
Like twinkle dollars or something.
twinkle coin. No, that sounds like,
Perfect.
yeah.
That sounds like a Bitcoin.
It does sound like a
It
Bitcoin.
it kind of sounds like a Bitcoin and also like something else. You know, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
leave that one. Gonna leave that one on the old brain, and I'll just never think about it again.
Put that on
Put
the
that on the
shelf.
shelf.
Oh, it's a
Shelf.
chain. It's a chain in this
Shelf.
world now, so you're gonna hear about it plenty. You stop and get
Great.
yourself some
I
twink.
love this for me. I mean, I love this for Bella.
You
I
stop and
hate
get
this
yourself
for me.
some twinkle coin. What are you ordering at Twinkle Coin?
A croissant witch. I don't know.
Excellent. You order a Twinkle croissant witch. And what about Millie?
Bella has
What
a
about
usual
Bella?
order. It's like a triple grande venti mocha whip frappuccino with real stardust.
Excellent. I love it.
Yeah, that's pretty evil.
Oh
I'm getting the
yeah.
orange juice.
Alita orders like one of every sandwich on the menu and like 4 different drinks. And then once all your food is put up, she just grabs like one of the coffees and like a biscuit and turns and starts walking away.
I'm guessing these are to go.
Mm.
I mean, if you want to bring them, sure, that's fine. I was
Just couldn't decide.
just
And
being passive aggressive. That's all.
Yeah, I think she's just trying to waste our money. That's fine. If you don't want
Yeah.
them, I'll just give them to other people.
yeah, look.
Oh
we're
no,
just
bag
gonna
them
turn
up.
this
I will
into
eat them.
a
Do
nice
not
moment.
do charity in my presence, for God's sake.
But I mean, you did order
Oh,
all
but
of
it's so much
these,
fun though.
and you haven't been eating a lot for the last couple of what was it, like months? So I don't know if you're gonna have room for everything. We might as well share it with some people.
Ah,
Just a little bit of charity as a treat. Hang
Yeah.
on.
this
You peasant, do you want a sandwich?
They're like, I'm a blacksmith, and they take the sandwich and walk away.
See? It's nice.
Does charity feel better when you call someone a
It
peasant
feels great.
first? Yeah.
Alita says, I take back everything bad I ever said about you.
He seems nice. I'm glad I could give him a sandwich.
Okay, we're gonna. Alis will go up and ask for like a few, sort of, like whatever fantasy takeaway paper bag or a little paper wrapper or whatever, and just wrap up the sandwiches and be like, "Guess we're handing out sandwiches."
Yes, they give you a sack of holding sandwiches. It allows you to store
One sandwich.
much more. It allows you to store much more than the size of the bag, but only foodstuffs.
I love that.
Yeah, that's delightful.
This
Is it
is
also
the best.
only stuff purchased from this establishment, so you can't put like a different restaurant stuff in the bag or it catches fire?
I'll have to go right now immediately.
Just dump the breadstick. Just dump the breadstick.
That's how you weaponize them. Yeah, you just throw in a sandwich from another place, which is another sandwich shop right up the road. Another place.
Of course.
Oh no. All right. Well, now that we've established fantasy franchises, I think maybe they'll head back to the castle to have this talk now that they've got fantasy twinkle coin. This game
We
gets
can
sillier
walk and
every
talk.
time, but in a very delightful way. Yeah, we can walk and talk, especially once we're out of any potential areas where there might be prying ears. So like I think once they're how far is this? Like how far is the castle? It's quite a ways. Is this maybe
If you go by like conventional transport, so if you just like on foot patrol, it's going to take you a couple of days. If you use magic, you can obviously get there faster.
we'll just teleport. That's fine.
That'd seem a lot easier. Yeah.
Yeah. You have a pretty rote teleportation spell, and there's as long as you know the combination to the place, which you do, you can get in there pretty easily. I won't make you spend any rewrites or anything like that on it.
Okay, yeah, let's do that then.
Yeah, you pop back home. Alita looks around and says, "Wow, you've made some choices with the decor."
Yeah, we were trying to make it look less threatening, but
The snake people are unionized.
yeah.
They're working on it.
That's wonderful. I'm happy that you're happy.
I don't.
Aw.
Thanks. Do you want to go see if your mom wants a sandwich?
Oh my gosh, don't I?
We'll pull one of the
Does that work?
sandwiches
Is it
out
the
of
opposite
the
of, oh my gosh, you're already going off with the sandwich, aren't you? Okay, fine. We'll see if she wants a sandwich.
Oh, were you joking? And it's just pulling a sandwich out of the bag.
I thought it would be the opposite. You say do I every now and again. So I anticipated don't I means I you know.
Honestly, I just want to watch all of you interact, if I'm being completely truthful here.
You know what? You are so valid for that.
And Alis will also call over one of the snake people that's sort of like general staff and be like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?"
Yeah, what's
Can
going on? He walks over.
Yeah.
He's got like a hard hat on, and for some reason, a shirt with sleeves that are rolled up.
Oh, can you please? And well, first off, would you like a sandwich?
No, of course, absolutely.
Yeah, here you go. And they'll give them a sandwich and they'll go, can you also deliver one to Hilda Warrior Princess for me, please?
Certainly. She's the one that's on the side of the mountain with the goats, right?
Yeah, that's probably her. And we'll just give another sandwich and be like, and make sure you take a break and enjoy your sandwich. There's nothing here that's super urgent, so sit down and eat it and let it digest and enjoy. And then we'll kind of smirk over her shoulder at her sister and be like, let's go give your mom a sandwich.
Alita
Absolutely smarmy, being really smarmy at this moment.
Aw.
Alita rolls her
smarmy
eyes
kindness.
as you all walk out to Mother Blightwood's garden. She levitates you over. And says, "Oh, you've gotten Alita free. It's good to see you, Alita." And she says, "Yeah, it's nice to see you. This whole green thumb thing really. You take well to it. It suits you." And Mother Blightwood smirks and says, "It does, actually. Thank you for the sandwich. Very kind and thoughtful of you."
No worries. Alita, I mean, we bought them all, but it was Alita's idea to order all of them.
I see. And
Just gonna do one of these hand gestures behind him.
Well,
I didn't lie.
I take it then Alita's going to be helping with the Giants situation.
Yeah, we're
That's
just about to
hope.
bring her up to speed about everything that happened while she was away.
I see. Well, if there's anything that I can do, let me know. But I think I think the less seen of me, the better during these negotiations.
Yeah, well, I hope we get to a point where we don't have to worry about that kind of thing.
Well,
I hope so too. I'm still considering putting on a fake mustache, pretending to be Mustachio.
Yeah,
Maybe
but then if they
squish
find
me.
out, they're gonna be really upset.
Correct
That's
me.
a good point. And I also just don't think it would suit me.
I would never want to be overcritical, darling, but didn't pretending you were somebody else start, or at least, I guess I should say, contribute to this whole mess?
Okay, ever so slightly, perhaps.
Maybe disguise is not the route.
Yeah. Is there anything we can do or help with before we head out? I mean, not out will be around, but
No, I think I'm good for now. I appreciate your concern, though. You have uh, more pressing matters to address. I
so many sandwiches.
Well, perhaps might not be a bad idea. Speaking of great volumes of food, might not be a bad idea to prepare something for the
For the
envoy.
giants. Yeah. That's great.
Oh,
That's
a
a good
feast.
yeah. Food
Ooh.
food always almost always helps. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Like food never makes something worse. Unless it's like poisoned food, but we probably shouldn't
Yeah.
do that. So
Or
I
if you've
would
suddenly developed an allergy.
I would not poison them. No, she walks over to um, one of the trees that's growing in the garden, and she grabs. It's got these long, almost like aloe leaves on it, and
Okay,
she
yeah.
she plucks one and breaks it in half. Produces a like a vial from a pouch in her under her cape, and squeezes some of this like pink glowing sparkling sort of fluid out of the aloe leaf, puts a stopper in it and hands it to you and says, this potion will increase the size of anything that it is placed on. No, normally a drop will be enough for most circumstances, but considering that you're trying to provide a feast for giants, you might want to use it a little bit more liberally.
Do you think we should use it on a bed too?
Might
not
not be a
oh.
bad idea, though. I don't know if, now that I think of it, you may need to make some adjustments to the castle itself for her to be able to get in and out if you wish to actually meet with her inside the castle.
Yep. Sounds like we've got a little bit to do. These
Mhm.
are really good considerations. Thank you for that. And for this, that points at the file. That's going to be very useful.
I think so too.
Great.
I do my
Well,
best.
thanks, Mom.
You're welcome. Good luck. And good luck to you too, Alita. I think if you just will let these two, you'll find them to be an invigorating influence. Um, she says, "Oh yeah, sure," and like scratches her eye with her middle finger. Yeah, no problem. Um,
I think we're like, thank you so much. Like, let's head out and we'll like lean into Mother Blightwood and be like, she's actually better than she was already. And then just
she nods and winks at you.
and just kind of like and make our way back to where they get floated over.
All right, you float back over to the castle proper. Um, you're gonna sit Alita down and basically run her through up to date what's going on with the.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
which
think so.
I don't reckon we need to like play by play.
No, sure, no,
Oh,
absolutely.
absolute play by play. Basically, like
Oh.
picking up random items around the room to use as like props and like a whole reproduction of the entire thing. There's like a salt shaker that's like Skullface. Like it's the whole experience.
In character, it's a play by play.
Right. Yes.
Absolutely.
But for what the audience sees, it's just a montage of like Bella playing with dolls she has created, like
Yes, and an
smashing them.
accordion. She's got to put some music, of course, right? So there's a little bit of accordion music happening.
Exactly.
Just a lot of charades.
As you go through everything that's happened, and ultimately Alita goes, "Wow, that's a lot." Okay, so if we don't sort this out with the giants, they're going to come crush everyone.
Yeah, probably.
They want justice.
Yeah.
So here's the deal with the negotiation. We have to be willing to give them something.
Yeah. I
So,
mean,
go ahead.
we can't give them the. I was just gonna say, all we've got so far is we can't really give them the city, and I don't think they are too keen about the idea of living in harmony with the people who drove them out in the first place. So those are kind of out. We've returned an artifact to them, but I'm aware that we have a lot of their things. So I'm not really sure where we go from here.
Well, they're going to want some measure of justice.
But well, yeah, but I mean, justice can be. It doesn't have to be violent.
No, it doesn't, but we have to. Part of this, I'm assuming, is going to be that we are going to concede on behalf of the small folk that there were wrongs done to them.
I mean, we're willing to do that, but
Mm-hmm.
I know that the biggest players in that, as far as what would satisfy, not necessarily satisfy, but would start to make amends for the giants, would be the mages and the mage council. So they'd have to agree to at least concede that that was done, if nothing else.
Well,
Ooh.
fun fact, I was never actually stripped of my title. So I can speak on behalf of the Mages Council.
Ooh.
I love a good oversight. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
they
one
were
of my favorites.
too busy chucking me in a hole to forget me forever to bother with any ceremonial defrocking.
Well,
So that gives us the air of authority, but we still need. I can negotiate. I can negotiate with the best of them, but I need to know what we are and are not willing to give them, up to and including. Do we hand over your mom? Do we hand over um, artifacts? Do we hand over myself? Do we uh, grant them? Do we offer a hearing? Do we
I mean,
try to find them somewhere else to live and a means to get there?
At the moment, I think we start small, right? Doesn't make sense to get lost in the nitty-gritty immediately. See what
and
they're hoping for, see where we can try to find some kind of a place to come together on it. I mean,
yeah.
Sure, maybe I'm not being clear. I'm asking what our hard limits are. I'm asking what we're not willing to give.
right, of course, of course.
So I'm not. I'm willing to hear other sides of it, but I'm really not willing to give any people up. There's no major player in this other than. There's no major player in this that we have access to that isn't trying to do better and help. You're negotiating. Mother Blightwood is trying to be peaceful. There's no one that we currently have access to that is unrepentant, or at least that purposely wanted to harm the giants specifically.
What
Not that I
about
know of.
what about Skullface?
Quick out of character because it's been a while. We don't have. He disappeared, didn't he?
He was flung into the bottomless pit that's
Yeah.
behind the throne.
Okay,
We
right.
put like a gate over it, just like a little
Just to
cover,
make sure he
like
doesn't
a
fall
like
back
a
in.
manhole
Yeah.
cover.
You put some newspaper down over that bad spot of the rug, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Oops. Yeah, I think Alice will be like, "Oh yeah, he's in the pit, isn't he? Do you think he's still alive down there?"
Mm, it's hard to say. I mean, if wait, hang on. I guess important question here. Is he like was he alive before though, being a skull face?
He's
He
very
used to
much
be a
alive. Yes.
good guy.
Okay. But like, yeah, he's probably fine down there. I would guess.
I wonder if they've been feeding him. Oh, this is an oversight. Speaking of oversights, anyway, yeah, he's probably the only one I'd be willing to hand over if they. But that's sort of, I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job because you're a lot better and more experienced. You're definitely, but like, I would like that to be one of the harder bargaining tokens. I'd rather not hand over an actual person, but if we have to, I think it should be Skullface, right?
Sure. I mean, I'm not going to
And
start with,
sure.
let's hand people over.
Yeah.
Unless you have an objection, Bella.
No, I would much prefer not to hand anyone over. I think there's probably a path forward for all of us that doesn't involve, revenge killing.
Sure. And I mean, and to be fair, I'm not
And
necessarily.
perhaps other ways to be accountable and stuff.
Well,
which
and I'm
we
not
would
necessarily
have to.
saying we hand them over, we hand anyone over for the Giants to execute either. They're part of what I intend to figure out, unless any of you happens to know, what exactly passes for justice within the giant community. We
Hmm.
know shockingly little about their actual culture.
So there seems to be a bit of division there, actually, that might be useful for you to know. There is someone who is in some sort of a respected position that spoke to us, and she was willing to send an envoy. She was willing to cooperate. She was impressed that we got that far and with the approval of the Guardian. And she could see with the offering of the artifact that we were serious. But there's another person that holds a lot of power who Bella pissed off a little bit on accident.
I mean, they're the suffering one. I think it's like their whole vibe at this point.
Yeah. They kind of wanted to kill us. So there's a little bit of division there, and I think as long as most of the people follow the path and advice of the one who is willing to work with us, we won't have trouble. But if the suffering one has amassed support, we might run into a desire for a more violent solution.
Well, here's another question for you. You see the suffering one. Um, Now, I'm assuming that you pulled me out of here, or pulled me out of the oubliette to act as a negotiator in good faith. But
Yes.
if we can find an angle where we can alleviate that giant's suffering, in
Yeah, gets rid of a player that would work against it. I see what you're saying.
sure. Now I can think of all sorts of like lovely things we can offer as consolations to the fellow, but um, I don't think I would be doing my due diligence as an advisor if I neglected to mention we could just wiggle our fingers at the problem.
Alis will look at Bella and go,
I mean, I'm not. I think that's just likely to cause more problems, right? If they seem already quite pretty displeased about the use of magic in general, and I think if we, killed him, we could make a martyr and make it much worse.
Oh no, I was thinking the exact opposite. We alleviate his suffering. If we can, I know a few spells that are uh, effectively unlocking a cycle of perpetual bliss in someone.
That
so make him
does
really
sound
happy.
kind of entertaining, but I think we'd still need to talk and like, get his permission on it. Otherwise, it feels likely to be really easy to spin as mages are controlling his mind.
True.
I mean, that's valid. That's an impolite way of articulating what I'm suggesting. Um,
But we could offer
it's really more of
him.
just a strong suggestion than a control, but I see your point.
I
I mean, I think offering it makes sense.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's nothing saying so. If we can figure out, other than he suffers because his people suffer, but there's more to it than that. So if I don't think that this is our main route here, right? But it might be nice for him if that can be alleviated a little somehow. And it might make things easier. So I have a friend here, blind friend.
No,
Some
that's
sort of
a.
spy, I'm sure. Ah.
That's okay. It happens to the best. Well then, in that case, I will make my preparations. I suggest you all do the same. Do we know when to expect the envoy?
They said within a few days.
All right.
We'll post some people down the bottom of the mountain so that they can run ahead, so we can make sure the food's ready and things like that. But uh, riders or something.
So I guess
There's
we should
something
blow the
else.
door up to make room for them to come in, right?
I mean, is it not a pretty big door? It is the castle.
I mean, it's a sizable door. You think that you're pretty sure that like a hill giant would have no problem getting through it. But you don't think one of if she's one of the larger giants that you've seen, they might have a hard time getting in.
All right, at least make some sort of visible effort that we're trying to make the, fortress of spooky skullness more accessible.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And the Great Hall should probably be fine. And then if we can just maybe make one of the um, uh, attached rooms bigger, we can make that be quarters for them if they want to stay. We don't have to necessarily fix the whole castle, but to show that where we want to have negotiations is accessible and getting in is accessible and that there's a place for them to be comfortable and safe. I think that's probably what we need to do. So we can get some people on that and I'll help too. And so I'll help with the building modifications and Bella, if you can help plan the menu.
Sure. Oh, and of course we need to have music with every course. So I think people have an orchestra. Hmm.
There are
I
musicians in town that you could certainly recruit.
Perhaps we should hire some.
Yeah, I think I trust your aesthetic. You're a little better on those sorts of things than me.
I
So,
trust her aesthetic, you say to the dark mage carrying an accordion everywhere she goes.
well, Alice is gonna go lift some things
That's valid.
to help.
Sure. We have
Bella will happily plan food. She's gonna test out that the potion that makes stuff larger and like make sure it's not secretly poisoned and that it actually works. And then she'll plan out food and also probably like lodgings of some sort. She figures you probably shouldn't like put them in a pocket dimension if they're uncomfortable around magic. So
you find that the potion not only is not poison, but works remarkably well, and in fact, works just as well on um, inanimate objects as on as on food or living things. So,
Nice.
like, if you need a chair, a giant-sized chair for them to sit in during the negotiation, you just pop a couple drops on a regular chair and it grows.
sounds like a good idea.
Your mom came in clutch. This is great.
What if we set it
Alice
up
is
so there's
like
like a giant table and then a smaller table for us on the giant table? Do you think that would be weird?
a little bit. Maybe we should
Okay.
just make normal sized chairs that go up really high so that they, so big table, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do we?
So you
We
want
can
me to
make
sit
that
in a high chair,
Right.
Alita says? Is that what you're
Uh,
driving at?
okay, that
Do we
might
do
okay.
like maybe an offset where we're on like a raised platform with our table on it that's at a vaguely similar height?
That
Yeah,
might
we'll
be better. I
do
don't know that I want to be like on the same surface as the food that the giants are reaching for. That just seems.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a good point.
We'll do a dais. We'll put our table on the dais with us. We'll do a smaller, like individual size table for a giant or two, like a little square one. We'll make that bigger. We'll put it next to the dais and put two chairs there. And that will be more than enough, hopefully. If not, we can make some
Hopefully.
bigger ones, right? Like it'll be fine. We can operate on the floor at 5 if we need to, but yeah, we'll put us on a dais, not on the giant's food table. That sounds good. Oh, and then not in a high chair. And yep, that works. I think that was good. Thank you. Good teamwork.
Good talk.
Everybody.
Good talk.
Yeah, good talk.
Wonderful. With that being sorted out, you go about your labors. We have another montage of you getting the castle in order. And sure enough, you get sleeping quarters set up that will accommodate two. The table set up with accommodations for two. And a feast prepared. Is there anything in particular that you are going out of your way to include or to exclude from the feast, Bella? Or is it just sort of a general...
I mean, ideally, she's going for options, right? Like maybe there's a vegetarian giant. I don't know. She's gonna try to have several options. Just sort of a variety to choose from. It's not really a problem if they don't eat all of it because that'll feed like, a village. So,
Right, right. Fair enough. You spend about a day and a half doing preparations and are uh, finished and have about a half a day of downtime before the envoy arrives. Is there anything else that you would like to do during that downtime?
Whew, relax. Center ourselves. Get ready for this negotiation. No, nothing actually other than chill, I think, as far as Alis is concerned. Alis is gonna like
basically the same
shower and
then.
stuff, like not be disgusting after lifting all of the things, that sort of thing.
That's fair.
I think she and some of the snake people would have, if there was a smaller adjacent adjacent room to the great hall, main hall, no matter what it was like used for before, if it was big enough to accommodate ceiling wise and stuff, they would have set that up as sort of the giant guest house.
Okay.
That's probably what they were wrapping up that day, and so they think everything's prepared. And another thing that they would have mentioned to Alita at some point, because they'd said, obviously their hard line is they'd like to not give anyone away, but if they have to, Skullface maybe is a possibility. They would also say that obviously this is a little more about negotiating with the mages, but like they think that it's reasonable to give back like artifacts and things like that. They think that that would be a pretty reasonable negotiation tool. So as long as Alita thinks that the mage council would agree to it, then we should go ahead with that kind of thing. So it just kind of it would be like one of those things where they've got like a chair over there. She's got like a chair over her shoulder and she like is passing Alita and she's like, oh, I forgot to say. Like that's kind of...
Sure. So like as the getting ready montage is going on, it's periodically interrupted with like Alis holding some heavy shit overhead and then being like, oh, one more thing.
Exactly.
You're like a construction Columbo.
Yes, exactly like that. Glorious. That said, then, if there's nothing further, on the second day after you've all gotten in there, and during this time while you're doing all these preparations, by the way, Alita's been hitting the books real hard, just reading and reading up on things and looking into stuff and doing a lot of research.
Good, that's the part we were missing.
But on the beginning of the third day, shortly after sunrise, you hear some horns blowing and a couple of the serpent people come riding up on the wheeled bikes, and they're like, "We've spotted a giant coming from the north. She seems to be traveling alone."
Oh, we'll put the other. Yeah, great, cool. And Alis will drag the second chair into the like guest bedroom and just kind of like put it against the wall, like, so you've got a chair in your room, and it doesn't look like we were, like insinuating that someone else would be there.
Sure.
So
the other interesting thing to let you know is she seems to be traveling on a cloud.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Let's get the food out.
As you set the thing up, eventually you can see out the window. In fact, she's walking along on a cloud that is floating almost like a it's almost like floating to extend outward to where she's going to step,
Oh, I
creating
love
a
that.
road as she's passing along. She is definitely big, and it's a good thing that you adjusted the area because she is um, big enough that she probably would have had to squeeze to get in prior to your adjustments.
Aw.
She has blue skin, white hair, and various silver patterns tattooed onto her skin. She's wearing a bright multicolored robe, and as the cloud comes up parallel with the top of the mountain, she steps off um, and says, "I seek Aelus."
Hi. We'll like step out. And be like, that's me. Hi. I don't know if this will help too much. No, I think this size is fine. Hi, and just like hand her tiny hand up. It's nice to
Uh,
meet you.
she reaches down and extends her hand. You're able to like take her pinky in your hand,
I'm
basically.
like, yeah.
Um, she says, "Greetings. I am Shaira. I have been elected to speak on behalf of the giants."
That's it's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to well, it's our home right now. I guess it we're hoping that we can make this a place of peace. Please, we've prepared dinner. I hope something will be to your taste. Um, if you wouldn't mind, just follow me.
Of course.
Hillis will lead her in through the front door. And it would be the main hall where they have the dining room set up and the dais and everything.
In the midst of like trying to push the biggest bowl of salad you've ever seen across the table a little bit.
Like you and like three serpent people with your backs on it, like
I was like, and push, and push.
Why didn't we make this big after we got it into place?
I didn't plan that far. I thought about putting wheels on it next time.
Oh, wheels. Yeah, wheels is a good idea. Write that down, wheels.
Right.
Duncan shouts up, "I could have built you some wheels." Um,
Next time.
As she steps into the room, she kind of looks around and says, "Oh, this is quite a bit of trouble you've gone to. Thank you."
Well, everyone did their part, but we didn't want you to be uncomfortable here. You're our guest. Please, if you'd like, have a seat.
Of course.
Has it been a long journey? Are you hungry?
I'm quite famished, thank you. Yes, this all looks and smells delicious. You've really prepared quite a welcoming meal.
Thank you. This is Belladonna. She's there's like it's like dial tone
closed.
for a second.
It's really nice to meet you.
Likewise, likewise.
She planned the menu. I think the idea was variety, right, Bella?
I didn't want to assume your tastes. So
This is definitely more
don't feel
than.
pressured to eat all of it. We can certainly give anything you don't eat away.
Oh, of course, yes. This is more than most of my people eat in a month. This is quite impressive.
Oh.
Thank you.
Takes a small note.
And this is my sister Elira, who will be speaking on behalf of the Mage Council.
She levitates up to meet Shira's eyeline and says, "It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I look forward to working out a compact between our people that will be mutually beneficial." And she bows. Shira nods. Says, "Very well. This is excellent. Yes, let's dine and then we'll talk business."
Yeah, no sense mixing the two, especially not when we're all hungry. Let's dig in.
Excellent. You all start eating, and Shayera even begins making some polite conversation. She starts talking about, asking about the various dishes. She says she's unfamiliar with human cuisine. Most of what giants prepare are, she says, I guess you could call them whole foods, whole cattle, whole trees, whole farms.
Well,
Makes
yeah,
sense.
does make sense.
Yeah, so this mixture of ingredients is an interesting prospect. As you're talking, um, Bella, you start to feel an unease, hair on the back of your neck standing up type thing. Why don't you go ahead and give me a mysticism and cunning roll?
Any particular direction?
Yeah, it seems to be coming from behind the throne.
Uh oh. Uh oh. So mysticism and
Cunning.
cunning. There it is. Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay. And reminder, I'm looking for eights, right?
Yep, eights, nines, and tens. Tens count as two.
I have 3 10s, an 8, and a 9. So
Whoa!
is that 8 successes?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
That's how many dice I roll.
You sense initially some sort of an effect bubbling in the pit. You feel it is malicious in nature. You feel it is the types of energies one might use for a summons if you were trying to call
Ooh.
something forth, be it a foul creature or a foul power.
In that case, I think she's gonna say, like, please excuse me. And basically poof over there as fast as she can and start putting up some kind of a barrier.
Excellent.
Sorry, something's happening.
As you're
Are
moving
you?
there, you can. Sorry to cut you off just one moment because I want to
Yeah,
make
you
sure
can.
that the full description gets through because this may affect the way that you react to things.
Hmm.
As you're getting ready to move, you do process that you can feel this. The energy of this spell seems to be connected to Alita, but then as you investigate that connection, as you follow that along, you realize there is an outside force from beyond the castle that is directing magical energies. Basically, it's spoofing her magical signature. There's someone
Huh.
who's trying to make this spell look like it's being cast by Alita.
Right, okay.
Thank goodness for those 8 successes.
Oh my goodness, freaking bananas. But yeah, I mean, heading over there, it's still gonna say, but I'm like so sorry, something is happening. Alita, do you have any enemies?
She like
Other ones?
real slowly turns over to look at you.
Other ones.
um, uh, I suppose theoretically, what's going on? Excuse me,
I think
Ambassador.
something is
She
about to appear here. We need to secure our guests' safety.
Right.
uh,
Should we go outside and have a walk in the grounds while they get this under control? I'm useless when it comes to magic. Sorry to interrupt your dinner, but
I am not. What seems to be the problem? She, her eyes begin
Oh.
glowing white, and she says, "I see
Is
you
anything
have."
happening over here so far?
Um,
Or it's just like the vibe?
as you walk over to the edge, you can see, um, like a deep purple illumination, barely visible down the pit.
Okay,
Oh
so
no.
let me give you the very, very basic, and then they can fill you in on the things I don't know anything about. When we defeated
God.
the MC, the person that was basically running the whole show, his name was Skullface. He's down there. They'll take it from here. Sorry. Uh, and just kind of like motions to to you two, to Elita
Yeah,
and Bella
gonna
and
attempt
the
to make
pit.
like a magical barrier of some sort to try to stop anything from leaving the pit. But Bella does not assume that she's going to succeed at this. So we'll say, take her outside.
No, she said she could help.
She
Yeah,
says,
but
I do
this
know
could be an
magic.
assassination attempt.
Oh, I hope not. That would be bad. Well, what would you
If
like to do?
if you think it is
Shahira?
best for our interactions that I go outside, I will go outside with you and leave it to your wizards.
Are you two all right? And looks at
You keep her
Elita and
safe.
Bella. Okay. I can do that. Please, you two be safe.
And
Seriously.
Alita, I'm pretty sure someone's trying to screw you over with this, so you'd better come help.
She floated over the minute that
Yeah, right.
this all started. So she asks if you know any binding spells.
I mean, I know concepts of a binding spell.
Great, that'll help.
Alis is gonna go outside with was it Shahir?
Shayera, yes.
Shahir.
Area.
We'll go outside with Shahir and just say we may find that we need your skill as well, but I think they're right in wanting to keep you safe. If they're trying to mess up, if whoever's doing this is trying to mess up our opportunity for our two people to connect, then I'd worry about what they would want to do to you.
Indeed.
We'll just stay out here for a little bit. I can show you the hat that we put on the skull.
I look forward to it. The two of you walk out to get a distance view of the mountain. She does point out that she saw it on her way up, but she's happy to take the tour with you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Alis is just like, there's only so many things we've been able to do to the grounds. There's some goats on the side of the castle.
Oh,
do you want to see the goats?
Well, I did just eat, but I'd be happy to look at them.
Oh, okay. Also, nope, that's good. Let's go.
All right, the two of you are walking around the outside. Inside, Alita says, "All right, I need you to take my hand and follow me in this incantation."
Sure.
All right, both of you will roll.
Ella will do it.
Mysticism, intellect. Do you have any sort of a bond with Alita right now? Positive or negative?
No, it's totally neutral.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your intellect mysticism.
Do intellect and mysticism. Not quite as fancy a dice roll as before. Bella has 2.
All right. You see as you hop in on the chant, you can see Alita's eyes begin glowing green, and then the green fades into purple. You start to feel the energy pulsing into you and through you as the two of you start to build a barrier to try to cut off this magic. And you do so. You do sever the connection that is passing through the spell that is heading into the pit. But as you do, it creates effectively a glowing portal that is hovering above the pit, perpendicular to the floor. So it's up and down. It's about the size of, if you'd imagine, like a standing full-size mirror.
Right, okay.
And it's got jagged edges, like this is a rip in reality, like this is a side effect of you shutting that magic down, or perhaps redirecting it. And you can clearly see on the other side of that portal, everything is cast in like a purple pallor. And in the distance, you can see the movement of various humanoid shapes bearing chains, sort of struggling along with their burdens. And you recognize this as being the underworld.
Oh. Put like a sheet over it. Gonna grab a tablecloth and just go to like throw it over the portal.
Yeah, you grab a tablecloth and absolutely throw it over the top, and it just sort of hangs over the portal.
Well, that's not ideal. It's gonna
Alita,
ruin the decor.
Alita raises an eyebrow. You think that's going to hold anything out?
No, not at all.
So my question is, what would be using this level of underworld energies?
That's a very good question.
And why would they be trying to frame me?
That's an even better question. I don't know that Skullface would care.
No, I mean, I'm sure that he blames me for his failure as much as he blames your mother, as much as he blames everyone else, as much as he
So why not just
would like to call us all
frame
incompetent
me?
boobs.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good impression. I've been
Thanks, yeah,
working on mine, but
yeah.
it's just not quite there yet. Oh,
Not me and the
you
serpent
gotta show
people
your
used
sister
to
that sometime.
do it all the time behind his back, but yeah, I don't think that he would single me out in this way because I don't think it would occur to him.
I don't either. Well, maybe I'll stick my head in and look around.
You sure? Like, hold on.
Can't be that far away from it, right?
She runs over and grabs, like, floats up to the top, grabs a string of spaghetti off of the giant's
Yeah.
plate, and like ties it around your waist, and then ties the other end to the throne.
Okay, fingers crossed.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
need-
she'll probably just stick her head in the portal and look around and go, "Hello,
Right.
you're ruining a really nice dinner."
You stick your head in the portal and go hello, and then you see a puddle of purpleness, like a gooey purple puddle, leap up toward your face.
Oh my gosh, that's like so gross.
I would like you to roll. You can make a defensive roll.
Yeah,
this would
let's get
be
out of the way here.
whatever resilience attribute you'd like to use. If you go full defense this turn, you can double it.
Yeah, let's do that. So then I guess we'll just use dexterity to get out of the way here.
Well, it'd be
Um,
resolve, composure, or stamina. So
Resolve, composure, stamina. Right. In that case, then I always like resolve. Resolve is a good one.
right,
If
roll.
I go full defense, do I double it?
Yep, you double it when you're full defense.
Roll it. Ooh, I have 2.
All right, it got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Uh-oh.
This thing leaps onto your face. As it's on your face, you feel it sort of like swim down around your eyes and start making its way up your chin. It seems to be trying to attach itself to your upper lip.
Oh, that's really bad. No. She's gonna try to stop it, or at least to like pull it off if she can.
All right, so you're shouting, no. Alita says, do you want me to blast it?
No, we got to do a different approach here. I think I know what this is. The worst possible outcome.
How would you like to try to remove it?
I mean, I guess she's just gonna try to like scalpel it off with magic if she can.
Sure.
Not to meta here, but I do wonder if Alita was part of the group that had to fight these symbiotes. Just putting that out there.
Go ahead and give me a Let's do mysticism and dexterity roll.
Yeah, that sounds good. I have 3.
All right.
I'm
So
picturing just like a little mote of spooky darkness at the tip of her finger she's trying to run across to like scrape it off with.
so you're peeling at it, and it does drop off of. Well, it doesn't drop completely off your face. It's like hanging by like an edge, swinging on the edge of your face.
Oh my gosh. She's like holding it as far away as she can, like, it's the worst thing I've ever like experienced.
As it's still connected to you, you start to get flashes of memory, flashes of thought entering your mind. Are you trying to resist them, or are you trying to interpret them?
I mean, she'll try to interpret them, but also she wants to detach this thing still.
Roll cunning and mysticism for me, please.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm assuming you're screaming, like you're not being quiet about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
but like, but Bella's screaming, so she's not being like, it's terrifying. She's going, oh my gosh, like the worst, and just like nasally complaining really loud. I got 3.
You do hear that from outside, to do with as you will, Alice. With your 3 successes, you recognize that it is responding to what amounts to like a primal sort of call from another, kind of like whale songs calling to one another. Whatever this energy was that was reaching down in that way, was trying to call it forth, possibly into the pit itself for some nefarious purpose, but it's trying to pull it forth. You also know it's not alone. And as you sort of glance over past the sheet, which is now askew, hanging off the side of it, you see about a dozen other blobs making their way toward the rift.
Turn to face Alita with a horrible thing she's trying to pull off her face. There are more of these things coming.
She runs forward and like pushes you back from the hole, and says, "Look, I only know one way to seal a portal to the underworld, but I can't do it from this side. So when you
only if you're sure.
When you figure this out, come get me." And she steps into the portal and
I'm gonna be in so much trouble.
Starts working a spell. You still have this thing. You're still pulling this thing off your face, by the way.
Yeah.
This time, just give me a straight up might and athletics. It's no longer about magical power.
Yeah, sounds good. Wait, who has might? Who has athletics? Certainly not me. That is 2 dice.
There's definitely a point where I think it's when the screaming stops that Alice is like, maybe I should check on them.
Of course.
Okay.
Do you want?
I think I need to communicate my dice roll right now. I've rolled 2 dice.
Yes.
They're a 9 and a 10. I have
Nice.
3 successes on might and athletics.
Beautiful. I'll get to that in a second. So, Alice,
not enough, but it's still impressive.
Are you asking Cher to wait outside, or are you going to let her come with?
Oh, I think it's gonna be like we'll just pop in as long as everything's okay. We'll go back out. But I think it would be. I think you should come with me just in case.
Sure.
I'd rather not leave you on your own right now, just because I don't really know what's going on. If I'm being fully honest.
That's fair. She runs in after you. The two of you run in as you see. As you see Bella like yank this thing free, it pulls like the skin of your lip. Like you take a health level of damage as it rips free from you. And you fling it onto the ground and it sort of splats. Like if you've ever had like one of those, the sticky hand things that you could get at the fair, like it sticks to the floor like that. and just spreads out almost like a hand-like pattern and sort of wiggles a little bit, like it's possibly even stunned. Um,
Uh,
but you also see like uh, as you step into the room, Alice, you see Alita's face as she's finishing closing that, like as that portal is slamming shut, basically, as the fissure is closing.
yeah, seeing the portals start to shut and everything. I think the first thing that Alice probably sees is this mustache being thing. And just goes, oh no. And it's gonna go try and probably just straight up kill it, to be honest.
All right, are you? What would you like to try to kill it with?
The sword. I'm not powering up yet.
All right, you're just gonna
Because
take a swipe at it.
like yeah, it looks like it's stunned. It looks like, maybe it's weakened already. So
Sure. Go ahead and give me a close combat might roll, and you're gonna have 3 enhancement on this.
okay. Oh, it'd be help if I had my dice out, huh?
Dice do help.
Luckily, I keep them here, so not too much. Close combat might. This we can do. Make sure. The other day, I accidentally rolled a d20 when I thought I was rolling a d10, so let me make sure I've got the right dice. Nice. Close combat. Might. Okay, let's give it a go. All right, we have success. 4 successes.
Excellent. You bring the blade down on it, and it sort of like wiggles and it cuts in half. The half is not accurate. You cut like 2/3 of it, and then 1/3 of it. The major 2/3 mass sort of wiggles and like drops. It's at the very least inert, if not destroyed. The other half sort of begins slithering its way toward the edge of the pit.
Can I attack that?
Um,
Sorry, I've dropped dice.
First, let's see if
Can I
anybody
try to,
else has an action.
Grab a cup from the top of the table with like just grabbing it with magic to try to put it on top of this thing like it's a spider that we're gonna take outside.
Sure. Why don't you
Like
try?
a giant cup.
Why don't you try a dexterity and esoterica, or I'm sorry, dexterity and
Yeah,
mysticism.
mysticism. Do. Oh wow. I sure rolled 110 and nothing else. So I have 2.
All right, that's not too bad. Let's see if it can avoid this fate.
It's like 4 1s and a 10, and then like 2 miscellaneous dice.
Miraculously enough, you slap the goblet over the top of this thing.
Nice.
Probably makes the best sound in the universe. Just this massive gwong.
Yes.
And as you do, Shira steps in the room and looks around and is like, what has gone on here? And distantly, as that weak glow that was emanating from the bottom of the pit fades, you swear you hear.
Oh, wow. Looks like you got it under control. Where's Alita?
Barely. Bad news. Totally not Alita's fault. Someone was trying to frame Alita here. But Alita is on the other end of a portal to the underworld that she closed from the other side. Like currently.
We can get her back, right? I don't know how the underworld works.
Probably. It's not quite my area of expertise, but some doing.
So these things.
Just like rubbing her lip. Those things.
They were on the other side of the portal?
Mm-hmm. Seemingly ready to come through or something. We kind of interrupted it, so I don't know that this was the intended location.
That's okay. That's okay. You guys stopped it. Good job. We're gonna have to figure out what's going on, but
Yeah, now that you think about it, you could see through the portal a place where they could have been going down. Like they could have gone another path and started climbing downward.
Hmm.
down.
Now, what if
What's down?
Skullface wanted to change his look?
Oh no, no, no.
Can you
Okay.
imagine just a skull with like a little mustache on it? Ugh,
We're
ugh.
going to have to handle this. And we're gonna have to get Elita back. But all right. I need a minute. I just need to talk to some people. But nothing's gonna be immediate. Nothing's gonna be able to be done tonight.
If
So
your
let's
if your friends sacrificed themselves to save these proceedings and to save me, I do feel bound by duty to help you in any way that I can.
thank you.
I think that like she kind of did. Yeah.
I kind of smiles a little bit, like, oh, sadly, because this is a dire situation, but kind of smiles to herself a little, and she says, "I appreciate that, and we may need to call upon that. I we know what these creatures are, and some people at the Mage Council will have knowledge of them as well. So I at least need to something needs to be done to let people know or see what's going on there. But we also need to get Alita back. And
If you lack for a way to get into the underworld, I do know someone who can guide you.
really,
Yeah.
Oh, a specialist would be like so useful. It's not quite my expertise.
Um, he is he's unlikely to do so even at my direction without some sort of recompense for the journey.
what would be appropriate?
One never knows, but I can summon him to the base of the mountain if you like.
Yes,
Should we
please. I
talk first or resolve this first? I'm not sure which one feels like more pressing, a potential war or a rescue operation.
My people will not act without me returning or without word of my destruction.
if you are happy to wait, I the other even from a non personal point of view, Elida is best able to represent and make promises for the Mage Council. So there's only so much we can offer when we know that the main people who some of the main people who need to make some things up to your people are the Mage Council, and the person who is currently trapped on the other side of that portal is the one who can do that for you. So if you don't mind putting off our talks while we mount a rescue operation, it'd be very much appreciated.
No, of course. And it was your it was your associate who sacrificed herself to save these negotiations. It would be foolhardy of me to scoff at that. I'm happy to wait here. I'm certain your uh, snake folk friends can entertain me.
If you're happy here, they can certainly uh, tend to your needs. They're great, actually. They're really good folks.
They're kind of charming, really.
I will prepare the summons. Gather what you must, and uh, we will head down.
Thank you.
All right, and I think that's as good a place as any for us to take a 5 for bio and techno breaks.
Yay!
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, if you're watching live, hang out. If you're watching this on replay, just hit fast forward till you see their pretty faces again. I'm just stoned.
Hey, I mean, being a two-headed stone, yeah, it's pretty cool, though. It's still pretty cool. I mean, and to be honest, that's how I always think about you, Travis. So.
That's fair. I appreciate that. That makes me feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside. While you are waiting for us to return, you can head over to the Curseborn Kickstarter and back Curseborn. You can also head over to the Reddit AMA that I believe is still going on. Plenty of opportunity to learn cool stuff about what's going on with Kickstarters, what's going on with Curseborn. Tell them that we sent you. You can always have that open in another window while you're watching us, too. You can multitask. It's awesome. We will be back momentarily. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Onyx Path Twitch. I hope while we were away, you managed to grab yourself a copy of Curseborn over on the Kickstarter. I also would like to encourage you, if you've not yet done so, to head over to the AMA. Right now, going on over at Reddit, pop it open in a nearby window and find out what's going on with Curseborn. All the burning questions that you've wanted to ask are being discussed right now. Before we took our break, the adventurers had been hosting Shaira, the envoy from the giants, in a well-appointed and well-thought-out, we'll say, diplomatic dinner that was unfortunately interrupted by some sort of mystical malfeasance. Fortunately, Bella discovered what was happening and was able to intervene. However, in that discovery, as Bella and Alita worked to remove the magical effect, it ripped a portal into the underworld that Alita only knew how to close from the inside. A mystic symbiote, not unlike the one used by Mustachio, made its way through the portal, and several more seemed to be approaching when Alita dove in to close the portal. In light of all this, the group has decided that they need to try to make their way into the underworld to save Alita, and Shaira has offered to direct them to a guardian that might be able to help. Sound like where we parked to everyone?
Sounds like where we parked, yeah.
Glorious. So she basically instructed you to gather your things and make your way down to the base of the mountain.
Should do a couple of things quickly first, but yes.
Yeah, what would you like to do?
I mean, tell her mom that this happened and that, perhaps to be aware of spooky Skullface activities from behind the old throne. And to send off a missive to Mustachio about this too, because he should probably know.
Sure.
I mean, it might entirely be his doing, but she's not going to allude to that. She's no idea. She's sure suspicious, but she's suspicious of everybody. But she will at least inform him that this happened.
It's probably either his symbiote or Alis would say this privately to Bella. It's probably either his symbiote or the students. But we can't assume. So I think you're doing the right
Who
thing.
knows?
Yeah.
Or just Skullface taking advantage of another spooky thing.
Yeah, maybe. That would probably be the best case scenario, actually. Right. All right. I'll let Hilda know, and Alis will do the same. The same way that Bella let her mom know to kind of watch out for it. Like, Alis will let Hilda know so that if she has to step in and help anything that has happened out there, that she can.
She nods and wishes you a safe journey. As you go to talk to your mom, Bella, she kind of cocks her head to the side and says, "What's going on?"
Oh, like, normal stuff. Some kind of spell attempting to frame Ayla's and its signature. That we attempted to partially intervene that ended up ripping a portal to the underworld in the middle of the throne room. And those, did you ever encounter the symbiotes?
Yes.
Those things tried to come through.
I see. How many of them?
I swear that I could hear a Skullface cackling somewhere down that hole. So I figured you should be aware.
If Skullface has managed to find a way to communicate across the border into the underworld, he may have sought aid from the symbiotes. Or
could be.
if an apprentice of his who is still here is bound with one, they are capable of calling out to one another. Now, my understanding is that um, Mustachio has done his best to prevent anyone else from interacting with them. But if a host wanted to communicate across the underworld, they could. And if anybody would know how to falsify a magical signature, it would be a master of the Mage Tower.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
Well,
think
I figured you should be aware.
Mustachio has fallen to corruption of some sort?
I certainly hope not. He's already so annoying. He keeps pinching my cheeks. Can you imagine how much worse he would be if he was corrupted as well? Ugh.
And to think I was trying at one point.
Right. Well, hey, if you couldn't do it, I doubt Skullface could.
No, that's true. Well, I wish you a safe journey. I'll keep an eye on the fort. Do you want me to see if I can do something to secure the pit?
If you think you could, go for it.
Yeah, I might as well make myself useful.
Well, I appreciate it.
For sure.
Good luck.
You as well. Just stay safe. And here, she takes off a ring and hands it to you. It's a silver ring that's got like a large purple stone set in the middle of it.
Oh, what's this one do?
She says, if things grow dire, shatter that stone. It will bring you back here to this garden.
Oh, well, that's really convenient. Hopefully, we won't need it, but I appreciate it.
Well, be aware it will only bring one.
Noted.
All right. Good luck.
Gonna need it. Okay, now how much food can I pack? Do we still have that sandwich bag?
You do still have the sandwich bag. Yeah, they're reusable.
She's definitely gonna do that thing where she's like, I'll be ready in 5 minutes, but she takes like an hour, and it's like always 5 minutes until she's actually ready, and she's packing like a wildly oversized bag full of supply.
Excellent.
At least someone's prepared.
You've made heavy
Definitely has at least one
preparations.
accordion hanging from the outside of it.
What about Alis? Is Alis doing anything special to prepare?
Oh, she's got everything she needs. She's got the sword, and she's got a badass giant lady and belladonna. So
As you get to the bottom of the mountain, the giantess starts bellowing a tune in like a very rumbly low bass. Some of the notes you feel more than you hear. But after about a minute or two of singing, you can see fog start to roll in.
Huh.
In the fog, you see a skeletal figure, probably about 9, maybe 10 feet tall.
Oh, that was unexpected.
Steps out of the shadows as it emerges from the fog, and you can clearly see what's going on. This is a corpse, rotten flesh, tatters of clothing hanging from it. But you do see that it wears finery, though tarnished with age. It wears a crown of gold with various jewels in it. There are bracers made of silver, markings of a kingdom long since dead, lost to history. One eye socket is empty, and the other is filled with what can best be described as a grayish jelly. and it looks and says, "Who has summoned the Dragar?"
Oh my gosh, like, hi, Bella.
Hi, I'm Alis.
Shara says, "I have called upon you to fulfill the ancient pacts between our peoples. We still guard your kingdom's tombs and your burial mounds." He says, "As was agreed, and we ask you today to hold up your end of the bargain. These two need passage to the underworld." The Drakkar nods and says, "Passage is promised, but I shan't protect them, nor will I interfere. I am their way in, I am their way out. The rest is up to them."
We understand.
Then
Honestly, I'm just relieved that you're the way out too, because I was gonna ask about that.
Mm-hmm.
I will stay by your side. Wander not from me, for if you go lost, I shall not hunt you.
That's fair. Yeah, absolutely. Is that good with you too, Bella?
I mean, honestly, this is like kind of exciting. It's like old times. Not really that long ago, but like middle-aged times.
Yeah, something like that. And Alis will turn to Shahir and say, "Thank you. We appreciate it greatly. Hopefully, we can bring Alita back and continue our discussions."
I appreciate her sacrifice and yours in seeking her. It is a brave soul who is willing to descend into the world of the dead.
Oh, I think Bella's brave. I might just be stupid. And she kind of smiles a little, like maybe she doesn't think she's that dumb like she used to. But
I mean, I would definitely not be going like alone. Oh my goodness, no.
The Dragar says, "If we are done."
yeah, thanks. We'll see you soon, Shahir.
She nods. "It's good. The land of the living does no favors for my flesh."
Enjoy the food while you're there, and while you're here, and we'll see you later. And then we'll go to the Did you say Dragar?
Yep.
Do you think this guy has a skincare routine?
No.
You start
Right.
walking into the fog as you're whispering to one another.
yeah, we follow them in.
He says, "Stay close to the path. Do not wander far from me."
Yeah, didn't plan on it. Thank you, though. We definitely won't.
There will be obstacles. There will be guardians. And as he says this, you start to hear rattling noises around you. Because I did not think they would be here this fast.
Yeah, the welcoming party.
As you take
Cool.
a step forward and the fog thins out enough that you can see. It's not gone by any stretch. But you do see 6 skeletal warriors standing before you. They each carry a sword and a shield. And as they move forward, preparing to attack, it is very clear to you that they are stop motion animated. Let's have some initiative rolls, please.
Sounds good.
So
I
you
had
can
hoped we could bluff our way out of this or something.
Yeah, I remember it's the lowest of, and they're flipped, right? Like it's like athletics
so-
and
we are doing the highest
oh right,
of your dexterity and empathy, or athletics and cunning.
dex and empathy. Right, and I actually have a little bit of empathy now. Ooh, not much.
weirdly,
Some.
my athletics and cunning is lower than my. That's interesting. It's the cunning that's really letting down the team.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
it's
we're
gonna be
doing the
Anthony that
highest.
brings it up, though.
I immediately ignored that we were doing the highest. Never mind.
I
There we
have
go.
5.
Excellent.
What are my dice rolls? I have a 9 and 2 10s,
Ooh.
and then like a 1 and a 4.
I'm no lie. I have 6. I have 2 10s.
Well, now you're just
and,
showing off. I can't
2
believe you would do
9s.
this.
Yeah,
Snurfle,
I mean,
snurfle.
You got, what was it, 6 or 8 when we actually
8.
needed it. That was
All right.
good shit.
The 6 of them stumble forward in stop motion, drawing back their swords, preparing to strike you. It's very Army of Darkness. What would you like to do, Alis, as you have the initiative?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't have a lot of anti-undead things. I guess they're not really undead. We're in the underworld. They're just dead.
You're at least on the stoop of the underworld.
Yeah. And they look like we've got to fight them, I'm presuming. There's no
They don't appear
maybe
to
we can talk them out of it.
Yeah, they do not appear that they're interested in parley at this point.
I'm gonna hit it with the sword. I'm also still not gonna transform at the moment. We'll see how I can do with it without.
All right, go ahead and give me a might and close combat roll, please.
Okay. Ooh, another 10. I'm doing okay today. 3 successes.
All right. As you swipe forward with the sword, the skeleton brings up their shield, parrying the blow. Did you include your 3 enhancement for your sword?
Oh no, I didn't.
So that would be 5 successes.
Yeah.
They try to parry the blow, and it goes less well for them as you bring the sword down and break one of the bones in their upper arm, and they suffer. That would be 2 health.
These things are kind of strong. Maybe I should do the thing. Alis says, but I will hand the order to. Do you want to go, Bella?
Sure.
All right.
I mean, I guess it's just us two because the other
Yeah,
our little
you're
friend's
just
not helping.
Yeah.
You're just gonna go in order. Yep, we're just gonna go in the order that we rolled.
If you can't beat them, join them. I would like to use cunning disguise.
Oh,
Cunning
To
disguise.
magically turn ourselves into skeletons for sure.
Excellent. Is that what's the rewrite cost on that one?
It's either 1 or 3, apparently. So I guess suddenly disguise yourself / become someone else. Let me pull up the description on cunning disguise here.
I do believe it becomes 3 if you're using it as magic. It's how that works.
Cost. Oh goodness. Hang on. Cunning disguise. Thematic cost. 3 rewrites initially, name once to a creature roughly your size to gain an impenetrable glamour or metamorphosis, make you indistinguishable from whoever you selected, even if you've never seen them or they don't exist. What? This lasts the rest of the scene or until you end it. Yeah, so can she somehow expand this for both of us to look like skeletons?
So you can either spend the 3 rewrites, or you can make a mysticism, cunning, or intellect roll at difficulty 3, whichever you prefer to try to do.
Why don't we do the mysticism cunning?
Right.
And I have 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 5.
All right,
10,
that
15.
is sufficient. You cast a glamour over the 2 of you, and you start moving in stop motion, and also
She's gonna go,
appear
get
like
out of my way, you incompetent boobs. She's working on it.
With that, they stop and look at each other, and one of them scratches their head, and then they all step aside. Would anyone like to press?
I cannot believe that worked.
Would anyone like to press the combat?
no. Sorry, I was muted. No. if they leave, Alis is like, huh. And just puts her sword away and goes, nice job, Bella.
Yeah, they kind of just step aside and let you pass.
Right.
And,
Sweet. That's not skeletons.
the Dragor claps. Interesting. I'm very impressed.
Me too.
Aw, like, thanks.
Of course.
What else
Alright.
was I going to do? Stab one with what? An accordion?
And where?
Uh,
Oh, you're smart.
I hope your guile does not fail you as we continue our journey.
Me too.
You continue moving further down the road.
Me do.
The fog starts to give way. Everything has like a purple sort of pallor to it. You can see the people now wandering through. There are groups of people that seem to always be in the distance no matter where you're looking, that appear to be like shackled and dragging around weight. In terms of raw numbers, these seem to be the majority of the inhabitants of the underworld. But you do see several folks moving about somewhat freely. They don't have any heavy chains binding them, though some of them do have collars or shackles that are on the wrists but do not bind their hands together.
Interesting. Do you know anything about how the underworld works, Bella?
That's a good question. Do I know anything about how the underworld works, Jonathan?
What's your mysticism?
It is 4.
Yeah, so you know that there's basically two realms that human souls can go to. The underworld is the less pleasant of the two. It tends to, it is lorded over by the hellworm. And the hellworm gets a great kick out of torturing and tormenting the inhabitants of the underworld from time to time.
Sounds good. Then she will explain this. Okay, so like, you know, when you die, there's like a couple of places you might go. This is the shitty one, and there's like this hellworm who like really gets a kick out of like hurting people's feelings and stuff.
Ugh.
Kind of
Okay.
sucks down here.
You also
Yeah.
know, with that level of mysticism, you're aware that a person's arrival in the underworld is generally due to them believing they belong in the underworld. People who carry guilt. The degree of the guilt that they carry dictates how they move through the underworld.
Interesting.
Neat.
So those people that are in the heavy shackles are the ones who feel the worst about what they did during life.
Man, so like some people, if Bella's explaining that to Aylis, some people
Oh,
who are like
absolutely.
really terrible just don't come here at all.
Oh, like absolutely. I would never come here. I feel amazing.
And maybe some people who are really good end up down here. That doesn't feel
Because you
like a
feel they haven't done enough
particularly,
good.
like, useful metric, does it?
Although, I mean, like, there are some theories that it's like, you know, a subconscious judgment, right? So, like, if we're like
Right.
protecting ourselves consciously from guilt we might be feeling, we might not be aware of like an internal sense of shame and guilt,
That makes sense.
and guilty shame and shame that's guilty.
Yeah, that makes
But that
sense.
might still like be present and it's in like a core and fundamental kind of like level.
Okay, so like guilt itself may not may be different from feeling guilt.
Maybe we're
Huh.
just like skeletons walking around having this conversation.
Yeah, and Aylis is completely lost, but is kind of trying to follow. Those are some high concept things.
It is. Fortunately for you, you entered the underworld nowhere near the hellworm and quite near where your companion had been sealed in.
That's good.
The Dragoon knows where you're going, so they are able to escort you there relatively easily. The path is a bit winding. You do witness a few folks in various stages of torment. But before too long as you follow close, you find yourselves, you're pretty sure, in the throne room or in the underworld's reflection of it. You can see from below as you're approaching, you can see a green light washing over that area as it appears that Alita is using some sort of magical illumination to drive back the symbiotes, who many of whom seem to have sort of ganged up around the very border of where that light reaches.
Oh, I think it might be muted.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. So are we coming up from behind her or
So beneath. So
beneath?
just to give you an idea of the geography, obviously uh, the throne room is in the castle, which is atop the mountain. You went to the base of the mountain to meet the Dragor, who then basically brought you back up the mountain, except in the underworld. Makes sense. So you've now basically made a circuitous route back to where you were. So you're coming up from below.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. All right. So does it look like the portal? It looks like she succeeded in sealing the portal, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The portal's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great. So we just need to get her out of here. Okay. Do you have any ideas, Bella?
Grab her and run.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's go. And I think they'll kind of try to they let the Drago say, they're like, hey, we need to get up to her. If we can do that, are you able to get us out right away?
We will leave by the way we came.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. But you said we have to stay close to you, right?
Indeed.
Okay. So we've got to get up to her, the one fighting the symbiotes.
Yes, the vermin. Mm.
So those things aren't here because they feel guilty, right?
No, those things are. Well,
Invasive?
at one time they were just simple sprites, if you will, spirits that were drawn to and fed with emotions. They exist throughout the various planes of reality. I'm told that there are even some in Elysium itself, but they feed on what they're exposed to. These ones,
Oh.
so covered in guilt and grief that they have evolved into these symbiotic life forms, no longer content to simply be a parasite. They wish to share their sensations.
Ah. That explains a lot. Oh.
It does.
Okay. Well, we just need to get her out of here. So, whatever works the best. Hopefully she can maintain, if she can maintain that shield, that might help, and then we can fight off anything that comes around it as we make our escape.
Yes, I don't. If you have a means of driving them back, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
They do not fear me like the other creatures down here do.
Well, for starters, and Bayless is going to raise aloft her sword and say, "By the power of friendship," and get big,
Excellent.
become a big lady.
As you raise aloft your magic sword, despite the already sort of bleak purple nature of this, darker clouds roll in above as lightning dances back and forth between them, and a giant bolt of lightning comes down from the sky, smacking into your sword. And
Ah,
surprisingly enough, as you grow, a force of energy blasts forward and like shoves the symbiotes back probably 100 feet.
Whoa, something is like way stronger down here. That was concerning, but very cool.
That was so cool. We do it
Yes,
again.
the Dragor says as he's like cleaning out his ear with his pinky. Wonderful, yeah, very impressive. Get your friend.
Thank you. Is gonna run up and be like, Elita, come on, while they're pushed back, we've got to go.
She says, "We have another problem," and looks down the sloping chasm toward toward where the pit would be if you were in the castle itself.
Is it a Skullface adjacent problem?
You see, he's changed. You see probably twice as much body mass as Skullface is walking up this cliffside.
It's all the parasites, isn't it?
He says, "I see we've both gotten upgrades. I look forward to ripping that sword from your still beating hands and drowning myself in your blood." And as
here we go
he's
again.
cackling, you see it looks like possibly multiple of these things have bonded with him. He's still muscular. But he's like twice the size. He has various wisps of the symbiote matter coming off of him like tentacles. And his one hand the tentacles seems to have like formed into like his staff with the giant ram's head.
Great. Hey, do you think we can get out of here like fast and just leave him behind?
We can certainly
Ideally.
try.
Let's try. And I'll take up the back. Just if you have anything that can get in the way, that'd be great. It's gonna turn.
Oh. Just gonna start like throwing stuff out of her pack, like sandwiches and things. Like this kind of stuff. Just like dump the bag on the ground.
No, like magic.
Okay, but what if we made the sandwich big?
Do it. And then throw it at him. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So you like throw the sandwich and then
We're
like
gonna use magic
throw it
to
and
throw
then
food at
flick
Skullface.
Yeah.
the
Or we could throw it and like flick the stuff onto it while it's being thrown. No, then it would just fall. No, you were right the first time, Bella. Really big food?
What's your plan as Skullface is
Fully
rushing towards
to
you?
like throw food at his face and hope that he can't see, and then we can run away.
Yeah.
100% the plan currently.
Excellent. Roll your I believe that would be an aim and dexterity roll, please.
Cool. I got 1, which is pretty good for Bella's aim.
All right.
Which is none. Wait, is there a minus if you have no dots and something in the system?
No.
Okay.
Just a lack of dice to roll.
Good ol' goose egg on aim.
1 second. I lost his sheet.
He's a rather aimless individual though, so
But I'm kidding.
not really.
I don't know. He seems to be doing okay. Oh.
Right. He will try to get 1 success. He bats it away with his staff and shouts, "You'll have to do better than that if you want to do me in."
My sandwich.
Aelitz, are you doing anything, or are you going to focus on getting out?
I think I would like to sort of do some sort of role to sort of be ushering everyone out, like to bring up the rear sort of thing. In that I'm just trying to, what's the word, expedite us. and try and give us the advantage in that way. So
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and give me an athletics might roll?
okay.
You
I mean,
can.
I'm not above like grabbing a random skeleton and throwing him in his path as well.
You can
Just,
exert.
You got 2 shoulders too. You could just like scoop.
Well, and you can exert physical scale at this point as well. So, like, you could even, if you want to get Saturday morning cartoon logic on it, you could grab the path that you're walking on and like lift it and like make a wave that shoves everybody else down the path.
Oh, I hate that. Yes, please. I want to do that.
Excellent.
Do that. It's still might athletics, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Ooh, nice. A 10. That's 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Excellent. So yeah, you reach your hands down, you grab the sides of the walking path that you're on. You basically
Like
just
a rug.
yes, flip it like you're straightening out a sheet to put on your bed, and it sends Alita and Bella and the Dragor flying down toward the exit. It does not move you
Excellent.
faster.
That's okay. On my next turn, I'll book it. I've got the physical. I have the physical turns.
He is going to swing at you,
That's
so
fine.
go ahead and roll whichever resilience attribute you'd like to lean on.
Right. And it's just a resilience. There's no skill associated here, right?
Right.
Okay. Cool. Ooh. 1, 2, 3. 3 successes.
He brings down the staff that is now clearly made out of this symbiotic material, and you parry it with your sword pretty easily. But you see the ram's head, little mustache filaments shoot out of the sides of its mouth and start trying to wrap around your sword.
Ugh. Okay.
What would you like to do?
Can I wipe it off on something? Like a passing skeleton or him?
Just take your action to wipe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can wipe
Just
it off.
Okay.
If that's what you want to do with your action, absolutely, I'll allow it. He kind of looks at you sideways, and then
He's like, "That's my sword."
you mock, and then gets ready to throw a fireball at you. What is Bella doing during all this? Are you continuing to run, or
Countering a fireball?
Oh,
Get
you're
out
gonna...
of here with that.
All right, so you're gonna try to step
I'm gonna
in.
throw a water ball at him.
Excellent. So intellect mysticism, please.
4, 1, 2, 3.
He does have a scale above you, so.
I also have no successes. I rolled 5 7s.
All right, you go
He was
to.
bound to catch us eventually.
And a couple other dice, but basically all 7.
Did you want to spend any of your rewrites to?
No, I think it's really funny to like throw a droplet of water at the guy.
Sure, you do your best Orko impression and wiggle your fingers and like summon. You don't even throw droplets of water. You summon a little sprinkler in front of you. You know the sprinklers that like move back and forth and get like
Oh yeah, it's
your
all like
your lawn. Yeah. Like one of those just appears in front of you and sort of sprinkles the immediate area. Some of it getting on like you and Alita. And she's just like, really?
not quite according to plan.
What did you get on your defense earlier? I'm sorry, for Alis?
This was a new one. This was a fireball, right? I didn't roll for it yet.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I've got 1, 2. What is that? 3 successes again.
All right, they got 4, so that's 1 to hit you, and you're equal on scale, so you do take a health level of damage.
Okay. That's I mean, ow, it's hot. But she kind of like grits her teeth and bears it and says, "You're gonna have to try a lot harder if you want to do me in."
Is that a quip?
Nope, that was me mocking him.
Yeah, just saying exactly the same thing back.
Yep, that wasn't a quip. That was immaturity.
Excellent. I love it. You may act. Would you like to try to strike him back, or do you want to try to turn and flee?
I'll tell you what is a quip, though. Sorry, that was way too long of a pause. Lost it for a second. Alis is going to say, "Run, I'll handle them."
Excellent.
+1 die. And what I would like to do is try to do something that will create a problem for him that he has to pass. So I think that we're very far away from the Guardians, so that's not going to work. I think that I'm just going to put as many skeletons in his path as I can. And it's literally going to be like, I am going to be shoving them, so I am going to make this physical. But the whole time she's like, so sorry about this. I bet it's already bad for you. My bad. I've got to go. Hey, can you handle this guy for me? Like, and just shove a bunch of people in the way.
All right. As you are doing so, this is again we have Saturday morning physics at work here. So I'm seeing like you run over to a stack of the skeletons and stick your sword out like a paddle, and then spin really fast to throw them all in his direction. As you say, sorry about that.
Excuse me, sorry, I've got to go. Can you guys handle this guy for me? Thanks.
Excellent. Give me a close combat and might with an enhancement of 5 now that you're using the power.
Sorry, I couldn't count for a second there.
No, you're fine.
Oh, remind me, enhancement. Is that
So that's automatic successes as long as you get a success on the die.
right? Which I have. That's exciting. Actually, so 5. So starting with the 5 enhancement, then I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 plus the 5 enhancement.
You throw like 30 skeletons at him. He lands in a pile, ass over tea kettle, and you just see like his head like poke up out of the skeletons, and he says, "You've not seen the last of me," as you turn and make your way out.
She over the shoulder. She's like, "I'm starting to get that," and she runs to catch up with Alita and Belladonna and the Guardian. I've forgotten.
Draga?
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's a flash of light. The He-Man logo appears on the screen for a moment, and you're back in the castle. Alita says, "Thank you very much for saving me. I don't know how much longer I could have held them off."
It was our Shahira. She knew they have an accordance with the underworld, the people of the underworld, and she was impressed by your willingness to sacrifice your well-being for the talks.
Yes, yeah, that was for the talks. Sure. Well, in any case, that might have been my ass. So I appreciate the save.
We're just gonna leave you there.
No,
that's good. While I was there, though, I did pick up on a few things. I think Skullhead Face has been internalizing those symbiotes, and I think Skullface is powerful enough or just angry enough to override them.
Oof. That's not good.
So I think that might be... We might have to warn Mustachio.
How many
yeah.
mustaches are we talking about here on the skeleton right now? Like 2 mustaches, 3 mustaches? I couldn't get a close look.
He can override any of them.
The
Sorry.
Skullface has bound to him, or go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if he
Yeah.
can override them in general, that means that he might be able to do something to Mustachio.
To anyone who has one of these.
Shoot. Okay, cool. Love that. Okay. We need to talk to Mustachio like yesterday.
And what do we want to tell the giants? Just the truth? I mean, I thought it was
I
very,
think so.
very cool of
Yeah.
them to, they did not need to pause these negotiations.
Yeah, I think we tell them that the symbiote, that Skullface has taken over the symbiotes, and that there are several symbiotes present at the mage council, and that we need to mitigate that risk immediately.
All right.
Maybe we can negotiate at the same time, though, like de-mustache and talk. It's not a good rhyme there.
I
No,
think.
go ahead.
I just think that she at least has been really, really cool. And I think that we should trust her until we have a reason not to.
Alita nods. Says thank you. All right.
Well, thank you. We would have been in some major trouble there if you hadn't done what you did. Let's go catch her up on what's going on.
For sure. And from there, we will confront Mustachio. But those are tales for another time, because that's where we're going to wrap things up for this session. Any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns about today's adventure?
Well, thank you for another amazing session.
Yeah, it was so lovely getting to play with both of you.
Thank you, and likewise. I'm sorry we got a little bit of a late start, but I think we made up for it with having a grand time.
Technical curse explosions are to be expected.
Indeed. I suspect that my Windows update killed my camera, and I'm sure I'll be able to resurrect it at some point.
Oh, best of luck with that. Thank you for all the
Fingers
goofs.
crossed. Yeah.
Thank you. Before we leave, I do want to give you all your experience points.
Yes, please.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Did everybody showed up? So you all get one. Did anyone get a short-term aspiration?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure either. I have something like find something new and magical, but I don't think we found anything new and magical necessarily.
Yeah,
The
probably.
underworld.
Well, I mean, yeah, you did travel to the underworld. I would take that.
Yeah, you know what? Never mind. That's a good point. Just never done that before.
And was that a short or a long?
That was a short.
All right. Any other short terms or long terms?
I'll have to double check to make sure I'm actually on the right page here, but I think that I don't have any new ones. So.
Okay. Yeah, make sure that you've got your 2 shorts and your long before next session. You did complete a quest going into the underworld, so you can each have, I would say, 4 experience for
Ooh.
that.
Thank you.
Cool.
And then you have reached a milestone, so you can all have a point for that.
Yay. Love it.
So yeah, that's where we will wrap things up for this session. I just want to, before we bow out, remind everybody that Curseborn is currently crowdfunding over on Kickstarter. And I do believe there are still some activity going on over at the Reddit AMA. Let me just double check here. Let's see. Yeah.
I think it's still live.
Yeah, still rocking and rolling. So I will throw that link in the chat as well. And yes,
I'm totally wrong. It now says just finished.
well,
Page.
that doesn't mean there's not plenty of information there for you to find about Curseborn. Give it a look. So I've been Travis, pronouns he, they. When I'm not running games, I'm writing them. My wonderful and lovely cast. This time we'll go in reverse order. If you could, CJ, tell us who you are, what you do, who you've been playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would like to promote.
Hi everyone, I'm CJ, they, them, and I've been playing Alice, whose pronouns are she, her. You can find me everywhere at CJ Story, and I am an employee of Rowan and Deckard, and next Tuesday the 15th we are launching Royal Blood on Kickstarter, so give that a little Google, check it out. It's a terror-based TTRPG, and we're really excited about it. Thank you for having me here, Travis and Bunny. It's always a joy to play with you, and I can't wait for next session.
Likewise, and thank you for being here. And that brings us over to Bunny. Your pertinence, please.
Oh my gosh, that's me. I'm a bunny. That's probably pertinent here. My name is Millie, and or Bunny Hearted Sheener, or they and them are good for me. I guess I can promote myself. I'm a doofus retro anime bunny girl VTuber, but I also want to promote like the concept of having a little nap, getting a little lie down, and eating a snack. Thank you.
That is a good concept to promote, and I am here for it.
I'm sold.
I think I may do
It's
that
my
very
plan
thing.
for in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, I may do that very thing when I wrap up here. That being said, did I type things wrong? Let's see. Sorry, my inability to talk and type at the same time has struck again.
I'm actually always impressed by how much you're able to talk and send links at the same time. I'm pretty bad at that.
I'm
So
awful at it. I feel like my brain is shutting off every time I do it. So, which it's okay. There's not much activity going on up there anyway, but still.
No,
So yeah,
debatable.
definitely head over and give Bunny a follow. Next week, I will be, if you're in Madison, Wisconsin, I will be at Gamehole Con all next weekend. I will be running demos of At the Gates, The World Below, and Realms of Pugmire. So by all means, come by and say hi. When I'm not running demos, I'll be out wandering the floor. So if you're in Madison or in traveling range to Madison, I hope to see you at the con. We will be back here 2 weeks' time, barring any sort of apocalypse or technical kerfuffles. And until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Remember, there's a brand new COVID shot out there, which means that if you can get it, you should get it. You should get it today. Call your local pharmacy, get your shot. And we will talk to you again real soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.